In this step-by-step tutorial, I will show you exactly how to set up rankmath the right way and also how to optimize your posts, pages and even products so you can rank your website high in Google. To download rankmath and at the same time support me, go to wp.discount/rankmath. This link is also in the comment section and in the description of this video. Of course, it's a free plugin, but if you decide to go pro, I get a small commission. So thank you very much. And then we are at the website of rankmath. To download the free version, we press over here on download. The download starts automatically, and if it doesn't, you can click over here. The next step is to log into your WordPress website. If you're still logging in using WP admin, then it's not a very safe way, so please watch my tutorial about securing your WordPress website. We are going to SEO optimize this e-commerce website. Don't worry if you have a simple brochure website or just a blog website. No problem at all, the same settings still apply, and I'm going to walk you through the entire process so you know exactly what to do. And if you do have an e-commerce website, then you're in luck because we also will be optimizing a product. The first thing we do, go to plugins, add new plugin. Then press on upload plugin over here. Click on browse and select SEO by rankmath, which we have just downloaded from the website. And then we press install now. After that, we press on activate plugin. Here we are, welcome to rankmath. The first thing they ask is to connect our free account. And why is it important? If you do that, you get access to the revolutionary content AI SEO Analyzer inside of WordPress. Now we definitely want that, so we're gonna press on connect your account. If you don't yet have a rankmath account, click over here to register now. Then you can use Facebook, Google or WordPress.com, but I like to use my email address. Click on it. Fill in your name and email address and don't forget to check this box and press on register. And then we press on this yellow button, OK, activate now. Welcome to the rankmath first time setup. I'm going to walk you through all these steps, so make sure to select advanced and then we press on start wizard. Let's first start with the information about our website. Digitech is the name of my website and you can see a tutorial over here where I walk you step by step in how to create this amazing e-commerce website. But in this case, Digitech is a web shop. Now you have to choose what fits best to your website. Is it a personal blog? Is it a portfolio? Is it just a small business website? Just choose the one that is closest to what your website is. If I switch, for example, to a personal blog, you will notice that some options will change. Not much, just a few. Then we go to business type. If you have a business website, you can choose one over here. Now this information will be used by Google, so pick one that is closest to your business type. On this website, I'm selling dumb watches and MacBooks and Game Stations 5, so I'm going with the computer store. There we go. All right, then we scroll down and then we have the website name. This is very important as it is your brand name or your website name. If you have a personal website, then put in the website name, maybe like Matt's blog or something, put it in over there. And then we can fill in the website alternate name. If you have an acronym or a shorter version, put it in over there. I don't have one, so I'm gonna leave it blank. Then the person or organization name is still Digitech. That's great. Then we have over here the logo for Google. Now the minimum size is 112 by 112 and a squared image is preferred. Now it already grabbed an image from somewhere, but I'm gonna delete this one and press on add or upload file over there. On this website, I'm going to use this squared logo, 1000 by 1000. Especially for this purpose, because normally we use these one, which are way smaller. Select your logo and press on use this file. Then we scroll down and we can add a default social share image. If your website is being shared on social media and you don't have a featured image or images on your website, could be in some cases, then this image will be shown when sharing your website. So it should be a very appealing picture. Now, the recommended size image is 1200 by 630. So make sure that you've created one especially for this purpose, for sharing on social media. I'm going to select this file, which I created especially for this purpose. I know you can do a better job in designing. I know it's just for example for this website. Press on use this file. There we go. Then we scroll down and we click on save and continue. Then we're going to connect Google to rankmath. Why is this important? Well, you do want to keep a notice on how your website is doing, how many people are visiting it, what are they doing exactly. So that's why we need to connect it. Press on connect Google services, then select your Google account or log in with it. And then we're going to press on continue. Then we press on continue. If you don't see anything here in your Search Console or in your analytics, you just have to wait a couple of minutes and after that it will be filled in. If you see your right domain name in there, then it's fine. Then scroll down, we go to analytics. Make sure to choose the right account, the right property over there and the right data stream. If you don't have a Google Analytics account yet for this website, make sure to first follow this tutorial and create a Google Analytics account and set it up the right way and then come back, refresh this page, and then you can continue with this tutorial. It's very important that you do this the right way. Now, if you do have Analytics but you didn't connect it yet with your website, I don't know why, but then you can also install Analytics code. Now the Pro version offers a very good options. Anonymize IP address and self-host the analytics JavaScript file so that you are compliant with cookie laws. Very important. And then you might want to exclude logged in users if none of your visitors are actually logging into your website. If you do have a web shop or people are logging in to comment or whatever, don't exclude them or else you will go blind when they log in. Then we scroll down. Well, we don't have AdSense on this website. And then the last question, do you want to receive emails with statistics inside of it? Yes or no? And then we press save and continue. Here we are at the sitemap settings. You want to have a sitemap, so keep this enabled. Then you want to include images in it. Unless you have a photographer website and you don't want your images to pop up in the search engines, you can disable the entire images from your sitemap. But on the other hand, it's also a way to get new visitors to your website. So I would say keep it enabled. And then we are at the public post types. And these things might be different on your website. The only thing that is most important are posts, pages, and products. Make sure that those things are enabled for SEO inside of your XML sitemap. Unless you don't have any posts on your website and you're never going to create any blogs, then just disable this one. On this website, I do have them, so I kind of keep them enabled. Also, we have landing pages. It's a type created by Elementor. Let's keep it on. But also floating elements. Then we also have public taxonomies, like your categories and your product categories. I want both of them to be indexed in my sitemap. So I'm going to enable all of them and press save and continue. And then we are at the technical SEO tweaks. Yes, we do want to no index empty category and tag archives, or else empty pages will be indexed by Google. Google doesn't like that. So just keep this enabled. No follow external links. I would not advise you to activate this one, or else all your links will not be followed by the Googlebot to other websites. And then basically you are a dead end. And Google doesn't like dead ends on the internet. Then we can open external links in a new tab window. Automatically do that. Yes, please enable this one. A very good feature from rankmath. Then we press again, save and continue. And then it says your site is ready. Well, we are not ready. We need to set up the advanced options. And before we go there, you also need to enable auto updates for the plugin. Now, rankmath never broke any of my website of those of my clients while being auto updated. So for security reasons, yes, keep this auto update enabled. Then we go to press on setup advanced options. There we have the role manager, a powerful feature that you want to enable if you have multiple people working on and logging into your website. If you're just the only one, keep it off and press save and continue. For this tutorial, I'm going to enable this one and I'm going to walk you through this. The administrator has to do everything, of course, but maybe you also have editors on your website that can log in, change things, create new posts, edit your pages. Well, maybe you also want to give them access to a redirections module, the 404 monitor log, and maybe also the analytics. You can just change this per person. Now, the author, again, also with the contributor, and we have the subscriber and the customer. Well, the subscriber and the customer, you don't want them to let them do anything on your website, so we're just going to keep everything deselected. Then if you have an e-commerce website, you also have the shop manager. I have 2 web shops with physical products with my parents are my shop manager, and they are actually working on the website also. But maybe they're doing something more and you want them also give them permission to do some on-page general settings, schema settings, analysis, advanced and social settings. You might want to enable that one for your shop managers. But if you are in doubt, just deselect everything and just keep it like this. You can always change it later on. Then we press save and continue. Then the 404 monitor is a powerful feature. Enable this one. It shows you exactly when people are visiting pages or posts or products that doesn't exist. You get a notification of that so you can fix it. Really smart. And then the redirection module, also enable this one. It lets you redirect different pages or posts. If you, for example, change the URL of one product or one page, it will be automatically redirected to the new one. Very, very nice feature. I love this one. Then we press save and continue. Then we go to the schema markup. You definitely need to enable this one. And here we can fine tune it further. The schema type for posts, if you have any, it's most of the time an article, but you can also choose a book, a course, event, product, recipe, or service, whatever. We're going with articles. Then the article type, do you have an article, a blog post, or a news article? Those are 3 different things. I'm going with the blog post as I'm not posting news and not really articles. Then we have also the schema type for pages. Just keep it on article. That's great. We have landing pages. There are none. Schema type for floating is also none. And then for products, those are definitely products. Press save and continue. Welcome to the RankMath SEO dashboard. Now don't worry, we're going to walk through all these settings and modules in here and also on the left side and on these steps so you know absolutely everything after this tutorial. The first thing we need to do is make sure that you are on the advanced mode, so that is underlined, because if you switch to easy mode, half of the modules are gone. We don't want that, so keep the advanced mode enabled. The first thing we're going to do is walk through all these modules and enable them. The first thing we see is Content AI. This is a powerful and awesome feature if you have a pro plan, because with all AI modules you have to pay for credits. In the pro versions we do have free Content AI trial with credits, 5,000 on the pro, 12,000 on business and 30,000 on the agency plan. You can of course also just buy only the Content AI pricing with this one, then you have also 5,000, 12,000 and 30,000 monthly credits. It's also possible. If you don't want to have a subscription for RankMath Content AI, just disable this one as it will save a lot of clutter and integration within your website. By the way, I'm not going to press on all these setting buttons, because if you do, you just go over here to SEO Analyzer or Content AI or General Settings, and we'll be doing that in just a second. Then we have the 404 monitor. I'm going to walk you through that also. It's in there. Then we have ACF. If you have advanced custom fields, it will be enabled by default. And then if you have the accelerated mobile pages plugin enabled, then hit this box. It's not actually a thing anymore. Google removed it from their ranking algorithm. So I would say don't bother with it, but it's an interesting topic to think about and discuss even further, but not on this video. Then we scroll down, we have analytics. Of course, we have enabled this one. If you have bbPress, it will be enabled. The same counts for BuddyPress. But then we have image SEO, advanced image SEO settings to supercharge your website. Well, let's do this because it will automate the task of adding alt and title tags to your images on the fly. I love this. Keep this enabled. Instant indexing, also a nice feature. Keep it on. Then we have the link counter. Keep this also on. Then we have local SEO. If you have a business with an actual office that people can visit, or you want to collect Google reviews from your business, then it has to be a place where people know that you live or you work from, keep that in mind, then you should enable this one. If you want to know how this works, I've also created a tutorial over here about Google My Business. Follow the steps and you will have your business notification in Google Maps. Then we have the news sitemaps and the podcast only in the pro version. If you have a news website or you're running a podcast, this might be interesting for you. Redirections, we've already turned it on. It's great. Then we have the schema, role manager, SEO Analyzer, sitemap. Keep those all on. And if you have a lot of videos that you're hosting yourself, then the pro version is also interesting for you. And finally, we have Google Web Stories. If you know what it is, you're probably using it. If not, don't bother. Then we have WooCommerce. If you've installed this on your e-commerce website, like I did, it is integrated automatically with rankmath. Excellent. All right, those are all the modules that we have enabled within rankmath. Let me show you these few tabs before we go to all these settings. In the Help tab, here you can disconnect your account and do some other things. Then if we go to Setup Wizard, you will start the wizard again, so we're not going to do that. And when you click on Import and Export, you go actually to Status and Tools over there. So we'll be covering that in just a minute. And let's start with all these settings on the left side, and we begin with Analytics. On the Analytics dashboard, we can see all these modules, which are basically just the tabs over there. So let me walk you through them. The Site Analytics is just a technical score to see how good your pages and posts are doing when you have filled out your focus keywords on all those pages or posts. So later on in this video, you will see how this changes as we start optimizing different kind of pages and products. Let's go to SEO Performance. Here we can see all the data that's being loaded in from the Search Console, impressions, clicks, and the average position and average click-through rate. Very interesting to see. In the Pro version, you can see the top 5 winning and losing posts. And if you scroll down, you can see them sorted by the pages on your website. Okay, let's go to Keywords. Here we can see the distribution of the rankings of your keywords. On what place do they rank on the list for the last 30 days. Again, if you upgrade, you can see more information. Then we go to the rank tracker, only for the Pro version. A very interesting feature. All right, let's go over here to the general settings. We have a lot of settings to go through, so let's start with links on the top. The first thing is to strip the category base. That is very important to do so. Why is this important for your SEO? Well, if you're creating your website, you can make different kind of content silos. So yourwebsite.com/my category, something like make books or dump watches in my case. And then comes dump watch 1, dump watch pink, dump watch gold. All these different kind of products or posts or pages will be inside a different kind of category. So you create silos or SEO buckets. In this case, the category inside of the URL is just not relevant. So I advise you to absolutely strip the category base. You can do it right now. If your website has already a very good ranking inside of the search engines, then you might not want to do this, or else all your rankings get reset. Or what you need to do is go to redirections and make new redirections from the /category/ to remove all those things and put them in the redirections tool. That's also a possibility. But for new websites, I really advise you to strip the category base. Then we can redirect attachments. Very important. WordPress makes automatically all kind of attachment pages inside of your website, and it's completely illogical. So we need to redirect them, the page URLs, to the post they appear in, and that is way better. Then we can also redirect orphan attachments, so media files that's been uploaded but they no longer have a page or post attached to it. Then it just will be redirected to the home page. Then you can add no follow external links. We've talked about that. Don't do that. No follow image file links. Also don't do that. And open external links. That's great. Keep it like this. Press Save Changes. Then we go to the breadcrumbs over there. As you might know, breadcrumbs are pretty important for your SEO so that the search engine bots can crawl your website easier, but also for your visitors so they can navigate easier on your website. How to do this? Well, first we turn it on, of course. Then we scroll down. We're going to select the separator character. You can do it like, for example, with the the arrows over there, or you can create your own separator. Let's go with the arrows. Then you can choose to show the homepage link, the label of it, and where does it need to go. You can make a prefix, archive format, search result format, 404 label. You can hide your post title from the breadcrumb. It's possible. And you can show the category and hide taxonomy name. Now, if you want to add breadcrumbs to your website, first we press on Save Changes. And then there are two ways to add them in. You can add this PHP inside somewhere on your theme, or you can just copy the shortcode, copy that one. And then I go to my theme builder of Elementor Pro, and I go, for example, to my single product. I go in there, go to edit it. On this particular website, I've already inserted breadcrumbs by using the WooCommerce breadcrumbs widget from Elementor. But if you don't have WooCommerce on your website, you can add in a shortcode widget within Elementor, put it in, and then just paste in here the rankmath breadcrumb module. Press apply. And then we see over here home, dump watches, and there's the dump watch max. Now, of course, we need to style this a little bit, but now you know how you can easily add in breadcrumbs into your website. All right, let's go to the images over there. Then we can add missing alt attributes. I would really advise you to do so. What does it mean? Now, the alternative text is being used by screen readers for people with a visual handicap. The screen reader will read it out aloud to the visitor so they know what this picture is about. But this text is also being used by search engines to determine what this image is about. So now we have the title, the Dump Watch Max Pink number 3. But what we want to do is cut this and put it into the alternative text. So now we know this is a picture of a Dump Watch Max and it's pink and it's number 3. And then also the search engine knows what this picture is about. Now, when you enable this option, RankMath will dynamically apply this. So your content inside of your media library will not change at all. Only when the page is being visited by a Google bot or a visitor, then it will be dynamically applied. The alt attribute format can be the file name, but it can also be, for example, the title. Then you can specify the alt attribute format, and now the alt text will be your file name of your image. Then of course your file name should be good, because when it's wrong or just some random numbers or letters, then this won't work. If you know you've uploaded wrong images, I would suggest to re-upload them with a good descriptive file name and then use the alt attribute format. But you can also add after your file name always to be safe your site title, like Digitech. That should be better than some random numbers and letters, and only that. And then we can also add some missing title attributes. I would enable this one, and then it will also apply to the titles, which is just a little bit of extra for your SEO. All right, press Save Changes. And then we go to the Webmaster Tools. Here you can enter some verification codes if you need to do that for Google Search Console, Bing Webmaster Tools. But basically, if you've already followed my tutorial about Google Analytics, then this is all great and you don't have to do anything here. Then we go to edit-robots.txt. Well, we just let WordPress handle this dynamically, so you don't have to change anything in there. Let's go to others. Here are some technical things that we can change if we need this. Well, we don't need headless CMS support. We don't want to show our SEO score to our visitors. You can also add in some RSS before and after content. You don't need to do that if you're just a normal blog user. If you're using RSS, you know what this is and you can add it in if you want to. We have also some variables to do that. Well, we've changed nothing here, so we go back to blocks in there. Here we can change default settings of available RankMath blocks. If you're using a theme that uses the blocks of WordPress, this is the place. Then you want to use the table of contents block module in your posts and maybe also in your pages. You can change here the name of the title of your table of contents. For example, if you have a different language on your website. And then we can change the table of content list style from unordered to numbered to none. I would go with unordered because it's nicer. Then also at the table of contents block, you can also exclude certain headings to keep them to keep them from showing in your table of contents. You can, for example, just disable the adding H6 and H5 and H4. I don't know how you build up your content, but most of the time, these three things you don't want to have them appearing in your table of contents. If you do, just uncheck them all. Here we go, and press Save Changes. Then we go to WooCommerce if you have it installed, or else you can just go to Edit HTXs. So the WooCommerce settings are very important, because also with the category extra in the URL, which is not necessary, WooCommerce also does some prefixes like /shop/products. We don't want that, so let's remove them. But be careful if you already have a running webshop for years and you're ranking very good in the search engines. Don't change this, because that will again make the search engines go wild and you might lose all your traffic unless you redirect them with the redirection, but that could be a lot of work. So only for new websites, remove the base over there. Then we scroll down, we can also remove the category base. So default you have product category, then for example the category itself, accessories, and after that action figures. And now it will be accessories, action figures, which I think is way better. So we're also going to remove the category base again with new web shops, not with existing ones which already have good rankings. You can also remove the parent slugs. I would not advise you to do so, because parent slugs are pretty important and it gives you way more levels of depth inside of your website. So keep those off. Then we can also remove the generator tag, keep it on, and remove schema markup on shop archives. And finally, you can add in your brand per product for your schema markup. If you have added your brand inside of your products with some different custom field, for example, then you can select them in here. I didn't do that on this e-commerce website, so I'm just going to keep it on none. Then we press Save Changes again. And then we go to HTXs editing. You don't need to change anything in here. Plus, there's a big warning in there, because if you change it, you might break your entire website. So maybe just leave it alone. Then we go to 404 monitor. You can choose between the simple and the advanced mode. If you use advanced mode, then your database might clog up if you have a lot of errors on your website. But in the advanced mode, you can see where the 404 came from. And on a big website, that's very useful to see where you actually need to change this URL. So you can choose advanced or simple, whatever you want. I am going with advanced for this website. Then we have 100 rows in a log. That's great. You can also exclude paths if you're generating a lot of 404s because of some old things that cannot be redirected, or I don't know, you can add them in over there to exclude them from the monitor. And this last option, just keep it on, or else you will get a lot of 404 errors from different kind of query parameters. Let's save changes again. And then we go over here to redirections. The first option is to enable a debug mode. Well, you don't need the debug console when normal using this, so just keep it off. And then we have fallback behavior. If someone types in a URL, there is no redirection created for it, so it will see a default 404, or you can redirect them to the home page, all of those visitors, or you can redirect to a custom page. I would suggest just keep it on 404. Maybe you want to redirect to your home page, but it's actually nicer to see that, hey, this link doesn't work, or else people get confused. They're typing this in, they're expecting a page, and they see our home page, and they're like, huh? And they try it 5 more times, and then they're frustrated and leave your site. But if they see a 404, then they're like, oh, something's wrong, and they can continue scrolling your website. If you've created a nice 404 page, that is. The redirection type is 301. That's great. It's just technical. And then we have an auto post redirect, which is a very powerful, but also a very scary feature. If you enable this, when you change a URL of a post or a page, rankmath will automatically create a redirect. So visitors, people, Google bots will follow the old link and automatically will be redirected to the new page. It works great. It's awesome. But it can also generate redirect loops inside of your WordPress website. Always keep in mind that if you have something weird going on with your URLs or redirections, rankmath is the cause of the problem, and you need to go in here to redirections. Alright, then we go to the last one, analytics. First of all, reconnect or disconnect Google. And if you scroll down, we can see that the number of days to keep the analytics data in our database. The maximum days allowed in the free version is 90 days. You can up this in the pro version, or you can just log into your analytics and compare it for yourself. Then over here, you can disable the front end stats bar. They're talking about this part of the rankmath overview. And finally, email reports every 30 days. In the pro version, you can change the interval. Then we scroll all the way up, and well done, we have talked about all the general settings in here, which is really great. What also would be really great is if you hit that like button on this video and subscribe to my channel, because these statistics over here are just, I cannot explain it, and I would like to have more subscribers, so thank you very much. Then the next thing, we go to titles and meta. In here we can change all the global meta settings that take effect across the entire website, and that is done per category. So I'm going to walk you through all these things one by one. The first thing we have is the global meta on your entire website. So default value for pages, posts, products, everything. Do you want to index them? Or if you change it to no index, it will not appear in the search engines. Default, it should be indexed, it should be on follow, and it should be image indexed. That's the best one. Advanced robust meta, just keep it on -1, and large. That's great. Don't change that one. Then we have no index. Of course, we've already talked about that. And then we have the separator character. Let me explain to you how this works. In the search engine result page, we first have the post title or page title. Then we have the separator, it's the little thing in the middle, and then comes the site name. And below that is the meta description. All these things can be adjusted, can be changed. So let's start with the separator character. I like the pipe, so I'm going to add it in over there, and you can see immediately how this looks like in the preview. Then you can also choose to automatically capitalize the first character of each word in the title. Can be your style. If not, just keep this disabled. By default, it's also disabled. Scroll down, you can change the open graph thumbnail and also the Twitter card type, summary card with large image or just a summary card. Just keep it in large image. And by the way, it's not called Twitter anymore, guys. Press save changes. Then we go to the next one, a local SEO. I'm very happy with this powerful feature because when we fill this all in, your website name, alternate, description, your logo, your URL, email address, address format, business type, opening hours, phone number, price range. So make sure to fill this all in the right way, and then we can use this shortcode on our About Us page. Once you've done that, you can go to social meta. In here, you can add in your Facebook page URL, your Facebook app and usernames if you have that, and also your X username to there. We scroll back up and we go to homepage. As the static page has been set, we can change these settings within our homepage. We'll be doing that in just a second. Hold on. Then we go to authors. Author archives are useful if you have multiple authors generating content on your website. If you don't have that, you're the only one, just disable this because we don't need them. They're just spammy. If you do have multiple authors and you want people to go to their author page and see all the posts they have created, that's possible. Just keep it on no index or else you get a lot of duplicate content. And these settings are actually the right one. You can also change the archive titles. For example, now it is just the author name, separator, site name and the page. I would suggest we put in front of this all posts by, and then the name, and then the separator and all these things. It looks way better in your title, so just keep it this way. Then we have Slack analysis sharing. Just keep it on if someone is sharing your post on Slack. And then we can also add in SEO controls for user profile page. And then we go to MISC pages. Here we can first of all enable or disable the date archives. I would suggest you disable them as well. Not a lot of people are using it. Again, if you already have a website that's 1,000,000 years old, do not disable this or else you will get a lot of 404 errors on your website because of these URLs were all available for search engines and for people. Then we can change the 404 title, page not found by Digitech. Great, you can change it whatever you want. Then we have the search result title, should also be great. Here we can choose to no index search results. You can put this on, you can put this off. There are reasons to index it, there are reasons to not index it. For a normal small website, just no index it, that's fine. Then we can also no index subpages, just keep this off. Also keep this one off, but this one I would suggest to enable this one because you don't want password protected pages to be indexed by Google, unless people pay for the content so they can see it in the search engine, visit your page, and then, hey, I have to pay, it's password protected. But normally you don't want password protected pages to get inside of these search engines. Press Save Changes. Then we go on to the next phase, which are the post types. You have posts, pages, and all kind of different post types in here. Now, these are actually the default settings for all your post types. Of course, you can always override it per individual post or page or product or whatever post type you have, but it will save you a lot of time if you change the default settings. The first option is the single post title of the page title or product title. It's all the same. Is title, yes, over here, the separator there, and then the site name. If you want to change the default settings, you can do it over here. Then the meta description is by default the excerpt if you fill this in. And of course, you can always override it per page or per post. Then we have the schema type for posts. We already set that up. Articles. And then we have the headline and the description of the schema type. Keep it on SEO title and description, that's great, but you can also insert all kind of variables available within rankmath. Then we have the article type, let's keep it on blog post. We have post robots meta. If you want to do this for single post pages, you can change it over there, but normally just keep it off and this works great. And then we have over here link suggestion titles. You can change between titles and focus keywords. I would say keep it on titles because it's more logical when people visit the link, they will go into exactly that title. So a link suggestion should be about your titles, but you can also change it to the focus keyword. Both are actually good, but I would suggest to keep it on titles. Then we have your primary taxonomy. If you have breadcrumbs, you can choose non-categories or tags. With posts, it's usually you use categories. But if you don't use categories and only tags, then you can change it, of course, to tags. Select enhanced sharing, we've talked about that one, keep it on. SEO controls, bulk editing enabled, very useful, I'm going to show you in just a second. And then if you have custom fields that you want also to be analyzed in the page analysis of rankmath, put them in over there. In our case, we don't have that. And then you can also fine-tune the default settings for pages, attachments, if you have these pages, but I advise you not to do so. All these post type, which are created by Elementor, and we have products. And maybe for your products, you just want to change it a little bit, something like a more an active voice, like buy, and then the product name from Digitech, or, well, you can change this around or do it per individual product. That's also, of course, a possibility. So I'm going to delete it right now. All these settings are the same as the post pages and they're all good. So we go to the next one, post categories. These settings are all great. So we go to categories and tags. Let's go first to the categories. Now by default, rankmath creates this title. The example is the name of your category. So in this case, blog, separator, site name. If you like that, just keep it on this. And you can of course change these settings also per category. For example, on this website, I only have two categories, the blog and the homepage, because that's what I demonstrated. And if I go to edit the blog page, you can see over here we have a new rankmath section. And now we can change the focus keyword. We can edit the snippet. I will be explaining this in detail in just a few minutes, so hold on. And then we go over here to tags. By default, tags are no index. So if you're using tags a lot on your website and you have different kind of archives and you're using tags even more than categories, you might want to consider to index all those tags. Just be aware it could lead to duplicate content if you also use categories. So that's why I keep them on no index, also because I don't use any tags on this e-commerce website. So think about that before you put them on index. All these things are great, so we're going to keep it like this. Then we have also product categories and product tags, which are the same as categories and tags, but this time for the products. If you want to change this, be my guest, now you know how it works. We've talked about all the titles and meta settings. Let's go to the sitemap settings. Here we can find our sitemap. If you click on this, you will see your sitemap and it contains 5 sitemap. We have posts, pages, products, categories, and product categories. If you click on one of those sitemaps, you will see how this works. It's just a list of all your pages, if you have images on it, and when was the last modification of these files. Now this list will be crawled by Google so they know exactly what pages do you have, what products do you have, what posts do you have, and when did you last modify them. Really useful. We don't have to change anything in here. We can change the links per sitemap, the images, just keep them included. And you can also include featured images. If you're using a lot of great featured images and they are not also inside of your posts or pages, then you should enable this one, because this way they will be added and they will be indexed by the search engine. If you don't use featured image because you don't have any posts, just keep it off. That's also great. Here we can exclude posts and exclude terms. Maybe you have some posts that you don't want to include in your sitemap. That's possible. Just put them in here. But you should then also put these specific posts on no index per post. We go over here to the HTML sitemap. This is also a list of your pages and posts and products and everything, but meant for visitors. Also for the search engines, they can make use of it, but you can use a shortcode to put it somewhere on your website, or just let rankmath create an entire page to do it for you. To be honest, I've never used it on my personal website or those of my clients, simply because I think your navigation should be okay and they don't need a sitemap to navigate through your website. But in some cases, I don't know which ones, but in some cases, it could be possible. If you want to put this on your website, keep it on and place a shortcode somewhere else. If not, just disable this one like I'm going to do for this website. Save changes. Then we go over here to the post types. Here we go. You want to include them in the sitemap? Yes. Do you have some custom fields for your images? Put them in over there. Pages, include them. Attachments, we don't want to include them. Landing pages, in our case, no, because the landing pages is just over here, templates, landing pages. If I'm going to create them, then I should include them in my sitemap, but I'm not. Also with floating elements, I'm not going to do that inside of this e-commerce website, so I don't want to have them inside of my sitemap also. Products, include them, of course, very important. Taxonomies, categories, yes. Empty terms, no, because it's just empty, there's nothing there. Don't include it. Tags, I don't use them. If you use them, include them. Product categories, of course, no empty terms, no. And your product tags, if you use them, include them. That's it. Press save changes. And then we go over here to instant indexing. Here you can manually submit URLs, posts, products, everything you want straight to the Index Now API. If you're a bit of a control freak, you can do this manually. But if you go to settings, there's also an auto submit feature. So there's actually no need to do it manually. Make sure to select all your post types that you're creating on your website. I'm creating blog posts, pages, but also products. So I'm going to enable this one. The API key is great. The API key location is right there. So all good. Let's press save changes. Then we go to history. Here you can see the history. Very not important to see only if you're a developer or you're just a control freak and want to see if everything was submitted to the Index Now index. Okay. All right, let's go to the role manager. We have already seen this in action, but if you want to make some changes because something has changed or you want to give someone more permissions, this is the place to go. Then we go to the 404 monitor. Now, this is a very important tool to regularly visit because it will give you a lot of vital information on pages that don't work or there's some broken links from somewhere redirecting to your website. Also, you will see a lot of junk or errors on your website. For example, my contact page. There is still some code active on my contact page. I need to remove it. It was from another video, so I'm just going to fix that. But you will also see over here, someone has tried to go to /product dump watch number 3. As we are already on dump watch number 4, this might be a problem if someone else still redirects from a social media post or someone's mailing it and then they go to the wrong page. So what I'm going to do in this case, first of all these things are just crap or just spam from some automated bots trying to see if I got some file somewhere. So I'm just going to delete everything except for this one. Bulk actions, delete, there we go. And then this one is legitimate, interesting. So I'm going to press on redirect over there. And then we go immediately to this tool over there, redirections. There we go. Here we are. The source URL is product dump watch number 3. It's an exact URL. You can change it to contain, start with, end with, or only in a regex. In this case, use exact. And then we can also add in the destination URL of the new product. So I go to products, and it should be redirected to the Dump Watch Max. So I'm going to press on copy link, and over here I'm just going to paste it in. So this is my new product, for example. But also you might want to say, well, if they're also going for Dump Watch 3, they might also go for the Dump Watch 3 Max. This way you can safely put in all your old URLs in there. In this case, it's a permanent move and the status is active. We press update redirection. And this is the way you can also add in new redirections from within RankMath. No need to need another plugin for redirections. This just works excellent. If you want to add more redirections, just press on add new, but you can also export the entire list to HTXS file or an Nginx config file. You can also go to settings over there, and then we are back at the general settings, redirections, and we can change the default settings. These are all great. So the redirection tool is one I use a lot for my websites, because who doesn't change their URLs of their pages and post someday? All right, let's go to the next tool, the SEO Analyzer. Just press on Start SEO Analyzer. It will analyze our entire website and give us the technical score. Now, this is just a technical analysis of your website. It is by far not as thorough as SEMrush. I've created an in-depth tutorial, and with the link in this tutorial, you get 14 days completely free of SEMrush. And this is the king of SEO tools, in my opinion. Let's go back to RankMath. Automatic updates, of course. Then we have some basic SEO for your homepage only, not your other pages, just your homepage. The common keywords, the SEO description. We have too many H1 tags found on our website. This is not good. You should only have one H1 tag on every page. How to fix it? Well, it's actually pretty easy. Those are all blog posts, so I just have to change them from H1 to H3 or something. Then we scroll down, we have one or more H2 tags. That's good. You need to have different kind of title tags for your hierarchy. All images on my homepage have alt, no common keywords found. Then we have no keywords in title and description because we haven't optimized this entire homepage yet. Links ratio are good. We have 30 internal and 5 external. If there's a cross in here and your links ratio is completely upside down, more to external and less internal, then RankMath will say you have to change this a little bit because it's not healthy for your SEO. Then we have the SEO title. I didn't change anything, so that's coming. Then we have the site tagline. It's not a red cross because it's not that important, but okay, they say we have to enter it. Then our blog is public. We have the permalink structure, which is great. Make sure it's on post name. If it's a red cross, it could be because your permalink structure over here in settings permalinks is put on plain or even on numeric or month and name, all these things, or maybe custom structure. It should be the post name. This is actually the best for SEO. However, if you've already created a website which is years old and you're going to change this, it will really hurt all your rankings. So before you do this, make sure that it's possible or that you're not ranking anyway, so then you can change this easily. Put it on post name, go over here and press save changes twice. It will reset your HTXS file and all your links will be changed. I can't stress it enough. If your website is already years old and you've created a lot of content, make sure to check it because all your URLs will change and that can really hurt your SEO. Post title, missing focus, keywords appear, everything. All right, then we have a mobile snapshot. That doesn't work because it has been blocked by my security plugin and my hosting company. So that's great. Canonical tags, no index. Well, all these things are all good because they're all on green. Performance, we don't have an expiring headers because I don't have any caching plugin on this website. If you don't have a caching plugin, I really advise you to do so. Check out this tutorial overview and I'll show you exactly different kind of steps, not only installing a caching plugin, but also different kind of steps to really speed optimize your WordPress website, as nobody likes a slow website. Plus, Google also hates slow websites, so you won't get the rankings you deserve. All right, all these things are great. This technical analysis is okay. Over here we have the competitor analyzer. For this you need the pro version, but again, this is actually the same as the SEO Analyzer and it's not that good. Especially if you compare it with SEMrush, which is the king of competitor analyzer on SEO on the internet. This is actually no reason to go to pro. Then we go further, we go to status and tools. In here we can roll back to the previous version. If you encounter problems, we can become a beta tester. Don't do this on a live website. Auto update, great. Database tools, we can fix some rankmath problems. If you, for example, came from Yoast SEO, you went to rankmath, you need to do all these things. Normally, you don't have to do this. Only if you have problems inside of your website, or you see, hey, some things doesn't work great, you reach out to support and they will ask you, clear all these things, remove them, caches, rebuild the indexes, and all will be fixed. So that works pretty good. System status is just a report of all the things going on your website. Basically, you only use this for support. They can ask for it and you can copy the system info to your clipboard, send it to them, and they can analyze your site from where they are without logging in. Very useful. And last but not least, you can import and export all your rankmath settings. If you're deploying a lot of new websites, this is very useful. Also in here, you can import settings from other plugins like Yoast SEO, All-in-One SEO. It can be done over here. Then the last option in here is help and support. If you click this button, you will go to rankmath.com to log in and to get some help with your website. All right, we have talked about everything rankmath. It is time to optimize our pages, posts, and products. Let's first start with pages. In the overview, you see all the pages, and on the right side, we see some new things being added to our website. Keyword, not set, schema, article, links, outbound links, internal links, your SEO title, and your SEO description. This is quite useful because when we start filling this out, you will see directly what pages did you optimize and what not. So that's useful. We're going to start with the first page, which is the About Us page. Let's press on Edit. Now, I often get the question, do we need to SEO optimize our About Us page, our contact page, all the pages that will not rank in Google? Of course you need to optimize them, just not as heavily and thoroughly as the landing pages. This website uses Elementor Pro, so you can go on the right side over here to all the rankmath settings. The first thing we see in here is your snippet, but that's not the first thing we're going to change. First, we're going to add in a focus keyword. Now, the focus keyword for your About Us page just can simply be about. Now, this page will, of course, never rank in Google when you type in about. Of course not. And it's not supposed to be that way. This page is for your visitors that want to learn more about the company. And as you can see, when someone types in about Digitech, they will come to this page and read everything about our beautiful web shop. You can also add in more focus keywords. For example, also Digitech. You can also make entire key phrases like About Us Digitech. But you can see the main focus keyword is here about. And you can also click on one and then your entire page will be analyzed on that specific keyword. But most of the time you only use one focus keyword. And in this case, the About Us page, just keep it on about. Then we're going to edit this snippet. You can click over here or the blue button and then we go into the preview snippet editor. In here we can change again the title, the permalink and the description of this specific page. If you want to see how it really shows in the search engines, just click over this one, use it on mobile view. This looks pretty awesome. Then we're going to see the title, separator and site name. First of all, you see all these numbers. What does it mean? Well, if you just add in text, you will see that this pixels and this will count up towards green and then red. Too much. If you have too much, Google will break it off in their search engine. We didn't reach the limit of 60 characters, but we did the limit of pixels. It's because Google doesn't only work with characters, no, it works with the amount of pixels they have on their page. Because if you use only W's, it will take way more space than only Y's. I have not reached the limit of 580 pixels, but I did reach the limit of characters. So this game needs to be played with every page, post or product you're optimizing for the search engines. Now a good title is of course somewhere in the green, because there's just more to optimize. I'll be showing you that in just a second. But again, for the About Us page, there are no competitors. When you search for About Digitech, it is just the name of this brand, so that's just fine. Keep it like this. Then we can change the permalink, which is just the URL of this page. Again, Again, if you change this, you need to redirect the old one to the new URL, so keep that in mind. Then the description. Again, we have characters over here and we have pixels, so we're going to create a really nice description. The description for the About Us page is purely about people clicking on this result. It is not intended to rank in the search engine, so you can create anything you want. This also applies, for example, the contact page, the privacy policy, all these things. So you don't have to overthink your description and use all of the SEO fundamentals. I'm going to teach you them in just a second. First, we're going to fix this page. Something like this, a beautiful description, so you want to click on it and learn everything about Digitech. Once you've done this, you scroll up and here you can go to social. Here you can see how it looks when someone shares your About Us page on Facebook and Twitter. So here we can customize exactly that, how it looks. You can use, of course, way more clickbaity titles, and it doesn't need to apply that much for SEO. This is just that you want people to click on it. Something like this. Also, you don't have to worry about the length, about all these things. Just create something that people want to click on when they share it on their social media. Just type in a good description over there, and you can also add in an icon overlay to the thumbnail. Like this, a play button or a GIF icon. When you click on it, people expect something that will happen to it. This looks nice, and if you have RankMath Pro, you can also customize the icon overlay to put in something else. Well, I'm not going to do this on this page, of course. The same applies for X or Twitter, as they still call it in RankMath. This is starting to look great. Then we scroll down. Then there's also a small button over here. If you click on it, you can track keyword trends. It's not as extensive as SEMrush, but hey, it works. And then over here we can see the checklist. The checklist is only meant to give you a better chance of ranking in the search engine. If all is green, it doesn't mean your page will rank, because there's a lot of variables at play. Backlinking, how are your competitors doing? Do they have better pages? Do they have more domain authority? The playground in Google is based on your competitors. That's just the way it is. But this checklist will help you to create better content. Let's go over here. We're using the focus keyword in our SEO title. That's important. It says it's not in our meta description. Let's see about that. That's true, because the word about is not in there. So that's the reason why he says that. The focus keyword used in the URL appears in 10% of the content, which is great, found in the content. But the content is way too short to rank in the search engines. And of course, because it's not the purpose of this page. Now, the more interesting part is over here at additional. But all these things doesn't actually matter for the About Us page. So I'll be talking you this in just a second when we're going to optimize a real page that I do want to rank in search engines. Also the title readability, and then we have content readability. These three things are great, but not for this page. So I'm going to press on save. And then we can see, hey, this is great. We have optimized this page. The keyword is about, and we have this score. We can do better if we want, etc., etc. Now, this way you need to optimize all your pages. But if you have an e-commerce website, you can see the cart and the checkout. Do you also want to index those pages in Google? That's a good question. Some SEOs say yes, you need to index those, especially when you have more options inside of your cart. Other people say it's completely not relevant, so just click on edit. Just go to RankMath and go over here, the advanced settings. And here we can just put it on no index, no archive, no snippet, no image, no follow. And then it will completely be gone from the search engines. Also, when you go over here, you have the schema markup. Well, for this case, we're not going to use any schema markup, so we're going to delete them and we just press save. When we now go back to our overview, you can see that this is not available because it's on no index. And that's exactly what I want for my cart page. And maybe you also want to do this with your checkout page and just optimize your contact page. Let's optimize our homepage. Now, the homepage is also a little bit different than all your other product pages and landing pages that you do want to rank on. Because the homepage, if you go over here, the focus keyword of your home is just your brand name. In this case, Digitech. And the most important thing on this page to change is of course the snippet. Because by default, your homepage is like this. Homepage, Digitech, next slide. That is not what we want. So we're gonna create a title. The title will be completely different than all your other pages. Something like this, basically your brand name with the slogan of your brand after that. should be great. You can do anything in there you want, but I would advise you to use your brand name and put it mostly on front of the title. That's most logical and for SEO the best. Also with the description, make sure to put your brand name on front and then type some text you want to appear in the search engines like this when someone searches on Digitech. Hey, we can see over here on mobile that we have been cut off. If you see that more than half of your visitors are using mobile, then you just might want to change this to make it a little bit shorter, because on desktop it will show. It totally depends on your target audience. All right, that's great. Close it, and then we're going to save this page. Make sure that this page is on index or else you have a big problem. Let's go back to all pages. So this way you can optimize your pages. But what if you do have a page that you want to rank within Google? So now let us create a real landing page that we want to have in the search engines. Now you can do this of course with pages, but also with posts and also with products. The basics are all the same. Let's go with products, because I want to rank my Game Station 5 high in Google. How are we going to do that? Well, we press on edit and we're going to follow the rules of rankmath. Now with this e-commerce website, I used the newest version of WooCommerce. But if you want to optimize it with rankmath, I need to switch back. So I go to options, turn off the new product form over there. And then we can see the good old WooCommerce ugly product thing. Yes, I don't like it. The other one is quite leaner and cleaner. I like it more. So what do we need to do? We need to scroll down. Oh, we also have some spam comments. Great. Just put it in spam over there. All right. Then we scroll down and we go to rankmath SEO. It is in here. What do we need to do? First of all, we're going to add in our focus keyword, Game Station 5. There we go. These are all suggested by rankmath, so it's actually inside of Google already ranking up a lot of views. So let's use the first one, Game Station 5. Great. Then we go to snippet, change it. The title, Game Station 5 from Digitech. I'm going to change the title because I want to stand out from my competitors. Just not Game Station 5, no, plus 5-year warranty. Now, permalink should be your focus keyword. In our case, Game Station 5. Perfect. So we have digitech.com, in our case, dummy website, wpress.com, but digitech.com/GameStation5. Perfect. Keep it like this. Amazing. Then the description. It should be optimized for Game Station 5. How to do that? Make sure that your important focus keyword is on front of the description. You cannot start this sentence with Game Station 5, but you can start it with the Game Station 5. And then we're just going to type some really descriptive text, but also put in your focus keyword again in the description. Something like this. The Game Station 5 focus keyword is the best game console. Again, the word game. Game in 4K and connected to 12 wireless controllers. Exclamation mark. And we have some numbers in here. The Game Station 5, again focus keyword, comes with 24 terabyte storage. Perfect. You want to click on this. You want to see what this is. This thing. This sounds amazing. So this is really good. The focus keyword is in here and it looks great. Then we scroll down. We can also change this post to pillar content. That means that this post is one of the most important ones on the entire website. If something needs to rank, it is the Game Station 5 post. If I check this box, you will get more recommendations when editing other posts. They need to link to the Game Station 5 page. You have to put in more links, internal links on your website, build more external links, and then you can grow this page in the search engine results. All right, let's walk through the entire list. The basic SEO, we're using it in the title. Of course, meta description in the URL. It appears in the content because it's a product, of course. The focus keyword is found in the content, but the content is way too short. Consider using at least 600 words. And that is true because if we go to my shop and we go to the game consoles, we can see the Game Station 5. What? It's on sale? Now this is the way the page has been built up. We have the Game Station 5 over here. We have a short description over here. We scroll down. We have all the pictures, all the things. We have a description. And then we have all these beautiful things which I created in my YouTube tutorial. But if I want to add in more text with a normal paste or a normal blog post or a page, it's pretty easy. But with products, you can put more content inside of your description. Let me show you how to write quickly a new content piece. Can you imagine years ago I had to write this all myself? This is so great, my YouTube audience will like this video even more and subscribe to my channel because of your great work. Here we go, look at this beautiful content in there. This is a heading 3, this is a heading 3, heading 3, heading 3. It's all 3, wait, that's not good. This is gonna be a heading 2. If I now go back to my basic SEO checklist, you will see your content is 870 words long. It's a good job, but it's still not green, so you can put in more content on your page, so around 1100, 1200 words. But what I would also suggest, if this is such a very important post for your website, update it regularly, so that Google will see, hey, things will change, this content keeps on getting fresh. But I would advise you to not do this all in one go, but do it in the course of different days and weeks, because then the search engines will see, hey, this content is getting fresh updates. And that's a very good signal for Google. All right, let's go to the additional. We have 4 errors. The focus keyword is found in the headings. That's what I show you, H2, H3, H1, all these things. In the alt attributes of the images, the keyword density is 2.0. That's great. In combination appears 18 times. Excellent, the URL is long, kudos. Don't have a link out to an external resource. That's a good one. Also, we have to do follow links to external resource. Gonna put that in right now. And add internal links in your content. Great, that we can fix easily. Let's go back to our content. We can go with the 24 terabyte storage. You can go over here and add in a link. So we scroll up, we're gonna get a link. We go to this beautiful blog about what is a terabyte. So I'm just gonna paste it in over there. I'm gonna make it a new tab and that's it. Press update. Here we go. Now we have one external link. We also need a internal link. And if you have some content in here that you can also link to your own pages, then why not? For example, if I also sell the PlayStation, I just go into there, create a new link with Ctrl key on my keyboard and put in my own website, just a slash, and then we put in PlayStation, for example. Put this in over there. There we go. And if we then go to additional, we have everything green, excellent, but we need to use Content AI to optimize the product. All right, let's go to title readability. Your focus keywords at the beginning of the title. As I said, that's important. Your title doesn't contain a positive or negative sentiment word, and it doesn't contain a power word. Those are tips for the title that could be beneficial for your page, post, or website. What they actually want is that I go into my snippet and create something right, like get all these things. When I add this in and I press on save, we can see that we now have our title contains 2 power words. The question really is, do you want to have this in your title? Will it hurt your rankings? If you don't have it in the title, will it hurt your conversion rate? That is something you need to test with your target audience, because there is no answer. There is no general answer that is good in this case. And that also counts for your title doesn't contain a positive or negative sentiment word. If you want to know what other power words are, or you want to see other positive or negative sentiment words, just click on the explanation and they have an entire blog which is well researched and show you the positivity of these things used in your title. It can boost your conversions, so make sure to check it out. And then last but not least, we have the content readability. You seem to be using Table of Contents plugin to break down the text. Elementor has one, yes, and rankmath advises at least 1 paragraph is long. Consider using short paragraphs. Well, I think my text is quite good, so I'm going to leave it as it is. But this also depends on your target audience. Are they used to reading long pages, long content, long reports? Then short paragraphs isn't that good advice. For an e-commerce website, it is. You need to have it short and well readable. Then again, our content contains images and our videos. You can add more because it's orange, but in our case, I think it's pretty good. We have a lot of images on it. All right, then our product is optimized over there. I think you get the point. The same principle applies for pages and posts throughout your entire website. Make sure you have to hierarchy all based on your focus key phrase. Use titles H1, H2, H3, make sure the title and the meta description is great, and then put in some images and some text that really will help your visitors, because you're not only writing for search engines, you have to write for people, of course. Make sure to check out the best offsite SEO tool SEMrush, as it will really up your SEO game. If you have any questions or comments, drop it down and I will of course read them and reply them. And I hope to see you in the next video.